Hey y'all, it's Nomadic Shaman here. Thank you for visiting my page. This video is going to be a few things. I want to touch on a few things. Ooh, Spirit just came up in here. Well, thank you very much. Yo, it just came up in here. Archangel Michael's here. Anyhow, okay. So anyhow, y'all, this is this is gonna be a follow up. There were some things that I left out in the previous video that I wanted to put in this video. So this video is not going to be as long as the others. But I will say this, just going into it, one thing that I've realized is on the spiritual journey, and as your eyes become more open and you're able to see all of your eyes actually, it's just many things just become apparent. You tend to see people for who they are as opposed to how they choose to present themselves. Interesting. But anyhow, one of the few things that I want to share with you in light of my experience while I was in Florida visiting some family, some of the things that I happened to leave out, y'all, that I wanted to share with you was so let me just start. One thing is, I realized, I mentioned this before, there was a meter, so there was a water lid that was out in the yard in front of the house, which continuously someone was taking it off as I was putting it back on. And at first I thought it was a water guy. But then when I saw that every single time I placed it on and the person was intentionally removing it, I then asked Spirit to reveal to me their face and their physical features. And I was shown an image. And then as further confirmation, I pulled cards. The irony is, as I was backing out the driveway and I was headed to run errands, there was this red Buick, as I was at the stop sign, a red Buick that drove past me. And sometimes, my spirit friends like to jump in the car for a joyride. Protection. Ancestors, But anyhow, so I heard that's her. So then I look up, and as I'm looking and I see this car drive by me, this woman stuck her middle finger up at me. Like that means two shits to me. But then when I saw her, it matched the vision that my guides gave me. And it also matched the cards that I pulled. So I'm going to share that. I was told that she was part of a coven that came up from Miami, so she could very well be a Latina. But this is what Spirit showed me. Peachy skin tone. Okay. Feminine. Wavy hair. She kind of looked like this woman in this photo. Okay. Spirit, so maybe, nope, she did. She had a lot of makeup on, actually. And I don't know, she could have had a boob job and likes to wear jewelry. This looks like a woman who's Latina, so she could have very well been Latina. Brown eyes. Full lips. Here's another one with a lot of makeup. And this woman wears a lot of jewelry. Okay. Beach. So this could be the Miami Beach connection. And then a woman who's thin and or wears a ring. So that's the information that Spirit gave me as it pertains to the woman. Also, I have her first name, and I said within I said I would have her government name. I would have her government name. Okay. So I will have her government name. Make no mistakes about it. But anyhow, so she's been the culprit. She's been one of the culprits coming on this property and removing the lids, putting them back on. Or no, not putting them back on, removing them. And trespassing as well as spying, stalking, and surveilling. And one of those connections is the Diana connection, okay? For those who don't know who Diana is, Diana Mariah, I made plenty of videos about my Gangstalking experience. She's one of the main key players that's behind this all, okay? One of the main. Now, other things that I want to mention as it relates, let me see, make sure I didn't leave out, y'all, is, it's funny how these folks want to go ahead and harass the divine, and it's to pull energy, but then on the flip side will donate, give money to, give gifts to another divine and divine or chosen one, and that is to offset their karma, and or that chosen one has something that they feel they can take advantage of or that would work for them prior to trying to harvest, or siphon their energy. It's very interesting how that works. They want to be tyrants and bullies on one hand, and then on the other hand, they want to be a philanthropist, okay? Thinking that them achieving that balance is going to offset their karma. But these folks, they'll learn the hard way. So anyways, moving on, because I don't want to make this video too long. The next part of it is, I said in my stay here in Florida, this same woman has, as well as the occult coven type of spell work, was glamour spells and beauty spells. And I did make mention of separation spells, abandonment spells, and rejection spells. And the interesting thing about that is they like to tap in and scrutinize every aspect of my life, to whereas me moving in silence is damn near non-existent, especially if one is hacking into my devices, so is aware of everything that I'm doing digitally, and then financially with that too, gang stalking as far as following me everywhere I go. And as if that's not enough, spiritually watching me by invading my dream state, as well as mirror magic and astral projection. And then, as if that's not enough, using monitoring spirits, familiar spirits, and what's the other thing that I wanted to say? I've already said divination. But anyways, these are, I did say divination. They have tarot readers that they have on payroll. If for whatever reason they're not able to get the information that they need. And in addition to that, they do work with entities. And so if there's anyone that's on the same level of scrutiny that I'm on, it makes it that much more challenging, not impossible, but that much more challenging to really move in silence. And honestly, that's when you have to I rely on the Most High, because I don't do root work in that sense. I'm an herbalist, but I don't do root work, when it comes to, what is it? I don't say black magic, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say when it comes to spell work as it relates to that. So that's where relying heavily on my spiritual team comes into play, and the Most High. But just in case, if anybody else who happens to be under the same amount of scrutiny as I'm under, because they've even, if I didn't mention this before, they work with entities who have the capabilities of reading minds and thoughts, okay? So it pushes you to be really creative when moving in silence comes to play. The other part that I want to mention, one thing that I wanted to share is one specific ritual that they did was a binding ritual. And the effects that I felt was in my legs. So I knew that they were attacking my root chakra. Okay. So it's some type of spell work that slows down or prevents upward mobility or even mobility. And it's like you're trying to run through the sand. And the intention is to slow you down or keep you from moving. Usually attacking your stability, your security, and your safety by way of your root chakra. I don't know the specifics of how this is done, but one of the ways that you can undo this in a sense of a dispel would be to create your own affirmation, mantra, and prayer that will cancel and delete and make null and void whatever spell that is targeted to your root chakra, your stability, your security, and your safety. The other part of it is to ground, whether you go outside in nature or meditate. Okay, so those are just a couple of things I'm going to share with you in how to reverse it or neutralize it, transmute it if one is under attack in that type of way. But by all means, do what works for you. The next part that I wanted to share, while I was here, the woman who trespassed on this property here, Spirit also told me that she vandalized the vehicle I was driving, okay? There were scratches on the vehicle. There was some type of substance left on the hood of the car, and Spirit told me that it was the woman, the image of the woman that they showed me and the woman that I saw at the stop sign. And the crazy thing is she literally was behind this house, driving down the road behind this house. So that tells me that sit here, do what she does best, spying, stalking, surveilling. Okay. Anyways. So then Spirit just told me your last name. All right. So then, let's see. What's the next thing I wanted to say? A couple of things that I did experience was Wi-Fi interruptions. Okay, at least tapping into my Wi-Fi. That's part of the spiritual ritual abuse. Okay, and there was also one point where I actually heard wedding vows. I said, God, what is that? I said, ancestors, what is that? What is going on? They told me somebody was trying to marry me in the spirit, doing some type of love spell in the spirit, and using wedding vows to bind them to me in the spirit. I said, the devil is a lie. I said, that contract's about to be null and void and annulled. Ain't no way I'm allowing that to happen on my watch. That's not going to happen. A couple of other things I shared with the, IP address, the Wi-Fi, the location where I'm at has been tapped into, interrupted, and disrupted. I did mention being followed from the minute that I landed in Florida to my cruise, to my way back from my cruise. Every single day, I've been followed. Granted, some of those have been the FBI, others have been the Coven, and then who else? Who knows? But your girl been followed from the minute I landed. Okay. I mentioned, if I mentioned this beforehand, phone consistently ringing, and when you pick up, no answer. That's a trap, y'all. Okay, that's a trap. A lot of times that's a coven. I mean, if it's not, one of two things, it's either an attempt to pull at your energy because of the annoyance behind it, and or is actually a way to create a portal. Okay, so spell work, so that their spell work will stick. So be mindful. Also, I've noticed people going around taking pictures of me and video footage. Pulling out the camera and taking pictures in the car, taking video footage of me in the car. Again, part of spell work. Okay, at least that's the intent behind it. And also weird text messages, which clued me in on that I was being tracked within that moment at that time. Okay. And I believe that's it. So I am going to stop here, and then I'll see you guys on the other side. But at least want to share that with you all as far as what's been going on with me while I've been on so-called vacation. Yeah, y'all. So I'll see you on the next one. Until then, I'm out. Peace.